Good morning, everyone, and welcome to yet another race here at VSK. I am just getting signed in. I'm all ready for the race today. Hopefully, it goes better than last week or last month.
So as you might have heard over the music or might not have, we are here back at VSK for the August race. This is the 8th race on the calendar. So 4 races left to go until the end of the season. I'm getting very close to scoring a podium. Maybe today will be the day that I manage to do it here in Group A. If I can manage to make it into Group A, we are going out for qualifying here. I'm immediately getting onto the pace because the track is warm. It wasn't as warm as it was last month. We did have that hurricane nearby, and we did get a big storm from that. So we did lose a lot of temperatures. The track was very dusty this morning, so the first group of qualifying, they were running about 41s. Something in that range is going to be the fastest pace today. We'll probably get down to 39s during the race, but qualifying is going to be all about getting the 40-second lap time and seeing how close to that 40-second you can actually get. So just going around, this is the out lap, so I am not required to be on the pace yet. We're not on a timer. It's just about getting the kart warm, getting the kart up to speed, figuring out what you're doing. This kart definitely felt a little bit odd. It rattled at high speed, but I was very confident in it. It felt quick. It didn't feel too sluggish, I guess is a good word for it. Now, going around, this will be the start of qualifying. We're going to get shown the green flag. We're also going to get bumped from behind. Driver just wants through. I'm just going to let him through. Not going to fight during qualifying because I have no reason to. But we will skip ahead to my fastest lap right now. So coming across the line, we're just coming out of the slow speed corners down onto the straightaway. The kart does rattle a little bit at high speed. I was still stuck focusing on that as we go around the first corner. A fantastic line, fantastic speed carried there, and through the second we're going to run it all the way out wide, nearly touching the barrier on that outside wall. We're going to have to get all the way to the right side because we have the immediate left-hander now diving down into 4, a very, very late braking zone. You can see just how late, just how unstable the car is getting in there. The fast right-hander don't even need to brake for that, but this one's a hairpin, so we're going to need to brake a lot. This one's a very tricky braking zone because you can carry way too much speed, but I do it perfectly. Going through that section and onto the straightaway, we're going to keep it just a little bit narrower than I would have on other laps. And going across the line, it was second fastest of the day. That puts us 3rd place in qualifying overall for the first race of the day. So, fantastic lap. And just to quickly explain why the second fastest lap of the day was only good enough for 3rd place, there's 2 qualifying sessions, so the winner of the first qualifying session, even if they were slower, will get that 2nd place start. It's not a bad start for me. I prefer to be P3 than P2 because P2 has that outside line, and that's a dangerous line. So it's P3 for Group A today. This is a fight for the podium. This is a fight for 1st place here. It would be my first ever overall race victory. I've won Group B plenty of times, but I've never won in Group A. So let's see what we can do today. Can we get that coveted 1st position, or will we be relegated still to our 3rd place, or possibly worse if the drivers behind get a move on? I know quite a few of the drivers behind me. They are very talented, they are very quick, and they fought for podiums before. The guy 3rd place in the series right now, I had a lot of talks with him. He is one of the drivers behind me, so we will probably have to contend with him if we want this 3rd place finish. But coming across, finishing the formation lap, I'm not doing any tire warming. It's already hot out. The karts have already been run, so there's no reason to warm them up any further unless you just want to overheat the tires and do any more damage to them. I'm not going to do that. The visor goes down, the countdown starts, the green flag is waved, and we don't get the launch we need. The cart's just a little bit slow off the line. We're going to have the inside, see if we can hold this position. A little bit of a bump from behind does keep us in this fight, although we have fallen back significantly. This cart has no power out of the corner, so we're going to have to pay attention to that, but we're also going to have to pay attention to the cart on our outside. We have the inside for this next corner, though. That's where you want to be, and down into the deep braking zone. We're going to have to brake just a little bit early. The cart in front of us, not great. Getting a bump from behind as well. It's a very tricky start, but we're going up the inside, down through the right-hander. We're going 3 wide down to the hairpin. This is not going to work out well for us, but we do keep it fairly clean. And then on the outside line, once more, we have the inside. He waves us through after that little bump. I would have just taken the position if I was him. It was a fine overtake if he wanted it. We are 4th place right now, only lost a single position, but this is just the start of the race. We're right on the back of the front runners, right on the back of the 2nd place and 3rd place carts. Although we have a cart on our outside line, we're going to try and get as much space as we can before we have to take the left-hander. I hit the wall, slow down, and we're going to get passed again by that cart on the inside. That was that 3rd place runner, so we're going to see if we can stay with him. In fact, we're going to go up the inside. 2 drivers in front having a little bit of a collision. We're going to catch up to them. Now down the inside into the hairpin, we're going to get a bump from behind. We're in a big train of carts right now and not able to turn in because we had a cart on our inside, so we're still stuck in the same big train. Just making sure my helmet's on nice and firmly because we're getting bumped around a lot this race already. 2 laps down and we're still within that front fight. That front fight over 7 cars all close together. We're going to go up and around the outside. We're going to lose a position. We're going to gain a position. And we have a cart on our outside after that little bump slows us down. Through the inside line of the fast left-hander and down into the heavy braking zone, or into that late braking zone, my bad, and around the fast right-hander. It seems to have settled out just a little bit, but it's not going to settle out for very long as we're here in 4th place. We're still within that fight, and we have a huge train of cars behind us as they remind us with a little bit of a bump. Down onto the straightaway, we're going to be still right with that front runner. We can see 1st place, we can see 2nd, we can certainly see 3rd as we go across the line for the 3rd lap of running. Just trying to turn in a little bit too early, clattering with the cart on that inside line. A nice move from him, getting the position on the straightaway. Again, the cart just not keeping up on the straights. I'm faster through the corners, slower on the straights, and it's never what you want to see in these carts because that's where overtakes are easy. If you're slow in the corners, it doesn't really matter, but if you're slow on the straightaway, you're going to get passed like you're standing still. P5 right now. It's still fine points, still fine position for me. Another bump from behind is going to slow us down, and he's going to make up the position with it. It's not very clean racing, and we're going to get squeezed into the wall. It's not a fair move, but we have to just deal with it as we have another cart going up around the outside. He's going to make the overtake on the straightaway, and another cart is going to think about it, but we're going to force him out wide. We're going to not leave any more than a cart width on that outside line, and he does back out. Sends a move very late. I'm not happy about that. You can see me shaking my head. The 2 drivers in front who did manage to make that overtake are having a little bit of an argument out on track. Save it for afterwards. Save it for the stewards. That's what my mojo is. And we're going to make that overtake once more, but we're slow out of the corners again. We're going to have to go to the inside line to defend, taking a weird line that does defend a little bit odd, makes your opponent behind question whether or not you're turning across on them, but you're going perfectly straight that entire time. It's just the line that the corner takes. And now down across the starting line for the next lap of running. We're losing positions here. We're losing pace here. You can see I keep up as soon as we're out of the corner, but I don't keep up into the corner. Running as wide as I can from what was the 2nd fastest driver of the day. We're certainly not in this kart, and going through the fast left-hander, this very, very interesting corner to navigate, and through the right-hander. It seems to have settled down a little bit, but this is not the end of the race. We're barely into this race, and we've already had all this action with just a little bit to go to get to those carts in front. They're going to start battling. That's going to drag me back into it. Gives me a little bit of hope for the race, as I have lost quite a few positions, but I can certainly gain a lot more if I manage to catch up and pass. They are all fighting, so there's a good chance for penalties, good chance for incidents that will drag me back into this front-running battle. You can see, though, the front runners up to the left, they have run away with it just a little bit. We're going to catch right back up, nearly going into the back of the cart in front of me. This is P7 right now, I do believe, if I am not mistaken. He's going to make a dive bomb on the cart in front. does make contact. I'm surprised it's not a penalty, but we're just going to have to keep on going. The kart gets run wide to the outside. We're going to see if we can make the overtake on the straightaway, but no, the kart has no muscle out of the corners yet. Again. Now, down through the first corner, we do gain a little bit through there, but we're going to lose it immediately on the next straightaway, which is unfortunate for us because we have the pace today. We have the drive. We just need to make up the positions. We just need the kart to cooperate. They're going to go 3 wide in front of us. We're going to see if we can make up an overtake here. In fact, we are going to go side by side with the kart on the inside line. He has too narrow a line. He has to back out. The kart in front making lots of movements, trying to think about where he wants to go. It's not a defensive move, so he is all right to make those weird movements. Usually you're not allowed to, but he is the attacking car in that situation, and I was not threatening to make a move. Car on the outside line, we're just going to keep him there, stay to that inside, make sure he can't make a dive bomb through the first corner. He's not going to be able to, and we are going to hold on to this position for now, and we are going to continue to push forward, see if we can't catch up to that lead group. They have split off just a little bit. You can see first and second fighting up ahead, third running away with it, but this group right here, 4, 5, 6, and me in 7th, we can still make up plenty of overtakes here for up to 5th position, which I would be plenty happy with. That's plenty good points for me. I'm currently fighting for top 10 in the Saudi World Series right now, or in the Saudi World Series in Vegas, at least, not overall. Overall, it's a different story, but we're here today to fight for points at VSK, so we're going to get right up to the car in front. We're almost giving him a bump. In fact, we do give him a bump out of the corner. A little bit upsetting that does lose us a bunch of speed. We're going to get a bump from behind right into the corner, sets the kart off, unstabilizes the kart. Not very nice, and a part of the track you never really want to get bumped. It means the kart's not up to pace, or you're not up to pace, and today I'm hoping it's the kart and not me. As we go through the hairpin section, another bump from behind, just destabilizing the car. It's not making me very happy. You can see a little bit of a shake of the head. I'm looking behind. I don't like all the bumping. It's not feeling great for me as a driver. We do have a big train of cars, so we are not out of the woods yet. And he's going to make a late dive, bumps me to make that overtake. It's a dirty move. You can see me raise my hand in annoyance. I'm going to hit the wall, slow down, and give up the position to him, because that was my own mistake. More karts trying to pass by, getting bumped yet again. My goodness. We're going to go 3 wide, and I am going to make up the overtake with that 3 wide move. So good on me, gaining 2 positions that I would have lost otherwise. Now down into the straightaway, we're going to have to think about defending. In fact, we are going to need to defend as I stay to that inside. Don't go fully to the left until we're at the corner and through the fast right-hander. Getting bumps constantly that are just not letting us carry any speed out of the corners. It's not something I'm happy with. It's not something I think is fair, but we have to just keep on driving regardless. Now, going through this first section, yet again, the fast left-hander of 4, and now down into the fast right-hander of 5. Towards the hairpin, we are losing that lead group slowly and steadily from what was a fastest lap of the day, or nearly fastest lap of the day, to a kart that just can't keep up. Onto the straight, we can see the karts ahead pull over a kart with maybe 2. As we go through the first section, I do carry more speed through the first corner than they are, so I do gain back a little bit of the time that I lost. I do consistently gain in the corners, which makes it all the more painful knowing that I could keep up if I had the right equipment for the job. Now, through this section, they're going to go 3 wide up in front. We're going to be able to catch back up and see if we can't make the move. Following the guy on the inside, we're going to get squeezed narrow. He's not going to leave the space. He wasn't entitled to leave the space as we didn't have the sufficient overlap by the time he reached the apex. Down onto the straightaway yet again. We're going to try and get as much of that slipstream as possible, but it's not helping at all. We're going to go through the fast section. We're gaining a lot of time. Gaining. Outside line here. We're going to go side by side. Now make it 3 wide. We're getting squeezed all the way. Squished against that inside wall. Squished against that inside cart. A very, very late maneuver from the guy in the green helmet. That was painful. It definitely hurt while I was driving, but we have to just keep on going. He was certainly worthy of a penalty for that. And we'll see after the race whether or not he gets one as we go across the start-finish line. And we're going to try and make the overtake around the outside. Just getting pushed wide. Not happy. As you can see me raise my hand. The penalties here not being enforced as well as they should be. White flag. Final lap. Let's see if we can make up this overtake here as we think about the inside move. Give him a little bit of a scare. In fact, we're going to overcook it on the brakes. I raised my hand in apologies. And that's basically the end of our race here. As long as we can hold on to this position, this will be our finishing position. The karts behind were a little bit closer than I would have liked, so going through the fast section down to the hairpin is just about keeping on and keeping it steady until we reach the line. Definitely not happy with the drive today, definitely not happy with the kart they gave today. VSK hasn't been doing a great job about keeping their karts in good condition. It definitely frustrates me. It definitely gets on my nerves as a driver. You never want to lose to faulty equipment. You always want to lose to some fair racing. And when they don't enforce bumps, when they don't enforce penalties, it's always a bad thing. But formation lap here, the black flag did get shown to a driver, but again, they reversed the decision. I don't get why. I don't get why. If you're gonna show the black flag to someone, they've done something to deserve that black flag. And you've got to stand by that penalty. You can't be afraid to make a bad call. I wouldn't care nearly as much if they gave out penalties if they were harsh and they made a mistake, because obviously mistakes are always going to happen in racing. That's how it is. But when they back out of it or they're afraid to offend drivers, I just don't get it. You can't be afraid to offend the drivers if you're making penalties. But it's race number 2 in a much better kart this time. Kart number 11 as we pull out of the pit lane to start our formation lap to line up on the grid for the start of the race. Hopefully this kart will be much better than the other one, and you can already feel it as we exit the pit lane. It's much better. It feels so much better. So let's see if we can make up overtakes. If we want to be back where we started, you can see me nod my head. I'm happy with this kart. If we want to make up the overtakes that we need to make up an overtake every single lap. It's a tall order. Every 40 seconds we need to make up a place if we want to finish in the top spots, and it's going to be a difficult thing to do, especially for a driver like me who's not very aggressive, who doesn't make overtakes with bumps, and generally doesn't push the rules as much as I need to. With VSK not enforcing the rules, bumps are the thing you have to do. Kart going past us was at the front. He just ended up farther back in the pit lane. Very odd, but not a problem in the slightest. But yeah, starting on that outside line, not the best spot to be for the start of the race. But again, yeah, just have to bump karts. You have to here at VSK. I don't blame the drivers for it. I blame the enforcement of the rules. They don't have any real way of seeing what happened after the race. It's all calls that happened during the event. It's not fun to be a steward here. You got 15 karts and no real way to tell what penalties are what. I definitely think they need cameras or something of that sort to enforce the penalties. But it's going to be a race start here with only positions to gain, hardly anything to lose. It's green flag and away we go. Not getting the best of launches, but it doesn't really matter much as everyone gets stuck up into turn 1. There's so many karts that you never really know. You never want to send it fully on the first lap if you're farther at the back, because you'll just cause an incident as we go around the outside, but the kart in front is too slow for us to reliably make the move. It's upsetting, and the kart around the outside manages to hold the speed as we had that kart in front of us blocking our line, stopping us from getting a better run out of the corner. As we go through, they're going to go 3 wide up in front. We're going to see if we can't make it 4 wide, but there's no space on this track. Around the outside, a kart goes up the inside. We're going to see if we can't make back that move, make back that overtake. It's not very great. Getting stuck at the back, even if you have the pace, the karts in front of you often do determine whether or not you can make the overtake. Here today, we're going to be able to make the overtake through turn 1, with the kart in front of us getting a much better run out of the corner than the kart on our inside, so we managed to hold it and go through that first section. It's so much action here today. and it's not going to stop as we go diving down the inside. A great move as we manage to make it before we even make it to the apex of the corner. We're going to hold on to this position, see if we can't have them give up as they go back around the inside. I'm not happy about that. More positions to fight for is not what we want. As few fighting or as little fighting as possible is the goal here as we go down the inside. He knows he's beat, as you can see just how he looks over. And we managed to make the move and get a better run out of the corner, so I'm telling him, move, let's go, catch up to the carts in front. It's a sign in racing that you don't want to battle, but it's up to him if he wants to take it. He's not entitled to stay behind. He can fight for it, but he gains a lot more if he stays with me and fights for positions farther up. So we'll just have to hope that he listens as we go down the inside. Think about a good move. Getting a bump from behind, that will give us a run onto the straightaway. Hopefully we can make the move, but his cart's just a little bit quicker. His cart's just a little bit lighter, perhaps, as we go around the first corner and through the straightaway. We're going to see if we can't make a move. We're on the outside. He knows he's forced there. He does just push against us a little bit, but it's all fair in my mind. It's something that any driver will do just to get that little bit of extra space. They're going to push against your cart. It's not the driver's fault, it's the enforcement of the rules, and they can't really enforce rules that minor. So we go through the hairpin section and down onto the straightaway yet again. We'll see if we can get a better run. We have the wider line, but again, just a little bit slower out of the corner. You gotta wonder if it's just a little bit of a mistake on my part then, because this cart was certainly on the pace. It was certainly a good cart as he goes much faster through that first corner. I'm just making small mistakes here today, but we're gonna go around the outside. He's looking at the cart in front. He's telling me, hey, that guy messed me up. Please don't overtake me. And we're not gonna be able to make the move here just yet. I want to see if we can stay with him and make up a move, because he is certainly a lot quicker than the drivers in front. So if we can stay with him and we can stay with his bumper as he makes an overtake, we can gain a position or two. But we're going to gain a position here as we go around the outside. But no, we're going to get squeezed wide. Not a very fair move. And the guy goes back up the inside, a driver who we had passed prior. The driver I was asking to move forward with, but they didn't want to. They want to fight here. So we're going to have to fight back and gain this position. I know I'm much quicker. I know it's going to be an easy overtake. But whether or not it's going to lose me time is the big question. And it certainly is costing me time already as he gains, or as he loses a little bit to the cart in front. And we also lose a little bit with how close we have to follow. Down into the hairpin, nearly making contact, but we don't quite. And onto the straightaway, we are going to be right with him. There is no way he's going to be able to defend against us. Down into turn one, we're going for the inside. He's too late to make an overtake, or too late to make a defensive move, and we go through. A fantastic move, but it loses us so much time. You can see how far ahead the carts in front are, and he still wants to battle. He still wants to fight, but it's not going to work in his favor, and it's just going to lose us more time. It's a silly, silly move from him, but he's entitled to do so. But I just want to push forward and gain positions up in front. It's a big, big loss for me as I tell him yet again, let's move forward. You're not going to pass me. Please, let's move forward. And down onto the straightaway again. Let's see if that slipstream, let's see if that straight line speed gains us anything here. As the carts in front battle a little bit, that will give us some hope of catching up. They are 10-minute races here in Group A, so we have plenty of time to make it. It's a sixth of an hour. It's plenty of time to make things work. A lot can happen here, especially in real life, opposed to the sim. In the sim, you never really know what's going to happen, but here in real life, you can make pushes. You can make a lot of a drive to the front of the field. It's a whole different ballpark racing in real life. And I do plan on racing more in real life in what is a real series as soon as I can afford it. I do want to start racing actual go-karts going around the country professionally. I am saving up for that with my job and actually making good progress of it. I should be racing within a year. We're going to push this guy all the way to the inside, force him to that inside line. We're going to make the overtake around the outside. Cart on the inside also makes the overtake. That is the guy I asked to follow, and he does back out of the move. Thankfully, a big thanks to him for that, as we're able to take the racing line like normal. But as I was saying, do want to start racing in a professional series, in an actual go-kart, as opposed to rental karting, where you never know what you're going to get. The karts in front are very far in front. It's going to take a big push to catch back up to them, so I'm going to continue talking about what I plan for the future. But it is going to be, it's an expensive journey to start racing, and it's going to be a big, tall order if I want to. That's why I've tried to step up my channel a little bit. That's why I have been saving so much, is, yeah, just want to get racing. I want to start doing professional driving. As fun as this is, it's only so far into the sport, and it only does you so well. Penalties aren't the greatest here. The karts are hit or miss, and getting into an actual racing kart would be my dream, and eventually pushing forward to actual racing cars. We are catching up with the guys in front, so we're not out of this battle just yet. We will have to hope that they start fighting so we can gain back more of the positions that we have lost, though. It will take a big push. We have a net gain so far to our starting position in race 2, but it's a big loss today from our qualifying position, so we're going to see if we can make it back to where we started, although it is unlikely. Starting P3, it is the front of the pack. It is where the speed is. It's where all the fast drivers tend to end up. So we will have to push really hard if we want to catch up, but we're not making as much progress as we need to. This kart is good, but it's not that good. Some karts are certainly better than others. This one is on the pace, but it's definitely not an easy kart to drive. It does understeer a little bit through the corners, and I'm just not quite as used to that. I do like a very oversteery kart. I do like a kart that slides a lot, and you can see just how I get it through the corners. It's not sliding nearly as much, but the karts in front are going to go too wide. We are going to catch up because of that, and we're going to be right with this front group. Let's see if we're able to make the overtake as we are going across the line. No white flag just yet, but they are getting ready to show it, so we do need to make this sooner than later if we want to gain this position. We are right with the front, or right with the guy in front right now. Not the front runners just yet, and not the front runners today. But we are going to see if we can fight for what is P10 in front of us. Good points here, and that will be good points for the series as we go through the hairpin, diving in, and just getting a smoother exit, getting a good run down onto the straightaway. We're going to see if we can make this overtake as we stay right with him, but we're not gaining as much as we need to in order to make a move. You can see he's definitely in the groove right in front of us. He's giving up hand signals. I wonder if he's talking to his camera right now. I'm not able to talk to my camera in the kart. I do eventually want to do that, but it is a difficult thing to do with the GoPro on top of the helmet. I would need to move the GoPro to the bottom by my chin, which I may well do eventually, but we will see. As we go across the start-finish line, you can see so many karts in front, so many positions up for grabs, but I'm only going to be able to gain 1 or 2 if I do gain any at all. White flag shown, so it's final lap of racing. If I don't make the move here, I don't make it at all. He gets a good run through that first corner up in front, and a poor run through the second corner. We're going to see if we can't make a move out of that, as we do gain a little bit on the exit. We're straying right with him, diving in on the brakes, but we're not able to make anything here. He is still setting good pace. He's still getting good exits out of the corner, and that's the problem. If they get good exits, it's hard to overtake. He goes narrow, he goes defensive, so can we make a run through here? We're going to go side by side with him. We do have the move, and we're going to squeeze him narrow. Let's see if we can make the overtake. Across the line, we're too wide. I get a better run as we go across the start-finish straight, and we are going to gain the position here today. It's a good move. It's a final last-minute move, but we do gain that place. Fantastic drive. I'm very proud of that, as we do gain more positions than we started with, although it's not as many as qualifying would have told. I'm still plenty happy here today. I'm still having a great time. This race, while it was dirty, while it was a poor enforcement of the rules, was a very fun race, so I definitely enjoyed myself. But yeah, stewards, if they do see this video, just don't be afraid to offend drivers. You don't have to worry about upsetting people. Just stay strict to the rules, and you can just point the drivers to the rule book. If they have complaints, they should bring it up with the rule book itself. But yeah, I will see you all on the next one. That was a fantastic race here today. Make sure you check into my live streams every Saturday morning. Or almost every Saturday morning, I should say. Apologies that this was uploaded late. There was a lot happening, and I just forgot about it. So, yeah. Have a good one.